Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm very excited for today's video because I am finally filming my Surratt beauty review. So Surratt was really kind and sent me a bunch of PR a few months ago, and I have been using things constantly since then. I did a first impression video that I'll have linked above, and I've used them in other videos as well, but I've used them a lot in my day-to-day life. And now that I've had everything for a few months, I think I have my ideas fully formed on all the products, and so I can give you my informed opinion on them. So we're gonna do a get ready with me basically. So I'm gonna go through and do a full face of Surratt using each of the products they sent me. And then a couple things that I don't have from them, like eye primer. And then I'll talk you through what I think of the products as we go, and then we'll do a wrap up at the end. And if you are new here, welcome. My name is Colin. I am a non-binary Latinx scientist and lover of makeup with a definite soft spot for indie makeup and high-end makeup, which you'll definitely see high-end makeup here today. And I tend to take a pretty analytical approach to the content I make, be it my reviews of new products or things that I already own. I just really try really hard to make thoughtful, analytical content, and I have new videos every week, so I'd love to have you subscribe. I won't be able to use everything they sent me because there are duplicates, like they sent me orange blushes and pink blushes and so on. But I can give you my ideas on the formulas as we go and show you each thing. They do also, I will have some other Surratt videos coming up soon as well. So they are launching some new eyeshadows, some new like special single eyeshadows. And they did ask if I wanted to try them and said they would be sending them. I haven't gotten them yet though, but they should be launched before this video goes up. So that video might be out there or be coming soon. And they also said that they would be sending me some of their brushes, which I'm very excited to try, but those have not come yet either. So I will be doing a video on their brushes solo at some point as well. I am very warm right now. I have to have the windows closed, even though it's only 53 degrees outside, but I have to have the windows closed so I can film. And I just did a Peloton ride a little while ago and then showered and did my skincare and stuff. And I think my body temperature hasn't calmed down yet, so you will be seeing my Jimbo fan periodically. So I have zero makeup on right now, but I did just do my skincare probably 20 minutes ago, and that's it. I have literally nothing else on my face, and so we're going to get into all of these products one by one. So first, let's do brows, because that is typically what I would do first. And I have two brow products from Surratt. So I have the brow pomade and the brow pencil. So the brow pencil is what I'll start with. So I have the shade, I don't remember the shade I have. I think it's just brunette, because this is light brown. I think this is just brunette, and it's a little darker than this, so that actually works really well because then I get a little bit more natural of a look. I have very big brows naturally, so I mostly don't do that much to them. I don't have to fill them in too much, but this is a really nice brow pencil. So this retails for $42, which is a lot of money, but it is refillable. So you can buy, once you buy this, you're just buying the refills of the actual like brow pencil part. And those are $18, which I think is a really good price. I think the House Labs one that has typically been my favorite brow pencil is around $18 to $20. So there's like the upfront cost of the brow, like the pencil part, the handle and the spoolie, but then like the continuous cost is actually like on par or lower than some other brands. So it's one of those, like if you have the money for the upfront investment, I think it's definitely worth it. So this is the pencil. I do really like that everything from Surratt is the same packaging and design. There's a very like uniform design language here. So it's got the sparkly Surratt colors there, transitions to kind of a matte, and then you've got the spoolie at the end. It's kind of a short spoolie, but I actually like it and it works really well. So I'm gonna spoolie up my brows, and you can see I do have some like spots where I need a little bit filled in, especially in the ends, but that's about it. They're pretty big. I don't have really thin brows that I'm trying to make bigger. And then this is the cartridge that you would refill, twists up like a standard one, And it's not the finest point. It's not like as small as the new Kosas one, but it is a nice size. And I'm just going to fill these in. It's not overly stiff or overly creamy. So a problem I have personally with brow products and brow pencils is sometimes they're too soft. Like the ColourPop ones were too creamy. So they kind of smeared and they made like if you wanted to draw like a block shape, they'd be great for that. But like individual hairs, it didn't work very well because they were too creamy. And then some, like the NYX brow pencils that I tried, I went through a lot of drugstore brands before I landed on the House Labs as my previous favorite before this. And those were they were really firm and kind of hurt to draw on. Like you had to put some pressure on to get anything because they were just kind of dry and stiff. This is right in the middle. So it's soft, like this isn't hurting at all, but it's not overly creamy and soft where it's going to smear and be a pain to deal with. So really like the formula. It's not giving as tiny of a brow hair as the Kosas, and I've actually been using the two together a lot because they're also different colors. But it's really nice. I really like it. And I think if you can stomach the upfront cost of like buying the whole pencil and component, I think it's worth it. It's one of those products that I have really enjoyed. And I think there's the investment of buying the initial purchase, but after that, the cost evens out and I'm like okay with $18 for a refill, like totally fine with that. Also, before I get any further, should have done this before I started my brows, but whatever, I'll just timestamp it right here in the middle. My goal in this is to show you how things work, how they work for me, what my opinions are, if something is truly worth it or not is really a subjective thing, and really only you will know that based on your budget, how you use your makeup, what makeup you use, all of that. I can tell you if I think it's a good product or a bad product, or if it's like good product but not for me or something like that. And I can tell you if I personally think it's worth it and if I think I will rebuy it or repurchase it. But at the end of the day, what makeup is worth it is fully subjective to you, your budget, your taste, your style, all of that. So don't just go ahead and say like, you know, because I said it's worth it, like I don't want anyone mad that I say something's worth it and you don't think it is. Like we can have different opinions on that, you know? Also, Surratt I do have a code with Surratt. And a few people have used that and I do really appreciate that because it really helps. Like I don't earn a lot of money on this channel. So anything that helps me buy the stuff I'm reviewing is great. And it is Bones15. I'll have it on the screen here, in the description box, all of that. It is an affiliate code, so I do earn a small kickback when you use it, but it saves you 15%, and then I get like, I think I get like a 10% back to me or something like that. But if you do want to buy anything from Surratt and you do use my code, I greatly appreciate it. It really does help out me and the channel. So back to doing the makeup. Okay, so the next product is going to be not a mascara. It's going to be the brow pomade. So this retails for $35. That is a steep price, but I mean, in this realm, it's not that bad. I have the shade Light Brown, and this is 5 grams of product, and it's like $35. That's $10 more than the one I have from like Milk Makeup or the Kosas. I don't know how much product you actually get in those ones though. Let me actually look that up while I have my computer right here. Okay, so I pulled up the Milk one because that's my other go-to. That's $24 and is 0.15 fluid ounces, and this is 0.18 fluid ounces. So you get a little bit more. You're paying $10 more, but you're also getting slightly more product and then a very unique applicator. So, you know, do with that what you will. But this, I think, might be my favorite brow pomade brow gel product now. I do really love the Milk one. It's really fast. It really fills in my brows. If this $35 is too much, the $24 one, Milk one, especially on sale, great. But this one has this as the applicator. So it's like a brush, like a big, I would say toothbrush, but it's softer than a toothbrush. Looks a little light here, but it's just really nice. The formula is really nice. It thickens, it fills in my brows. I don't always use the pencil. I'll sometimes just, most of the time I'm just using this. I've had this for months and it's still going strong. And I really like, instead of having just like a spoolie, having this brush, I think it works really well. And I have really thick brow hairs. They don't like to stay up. That a lot of brow gels are too clumpy and sticky, and like you get that crusty brow thing that like gels do. This doesn't do that, but it does hold really well. My brows do not fall when I use this. Like, I don't get any random hairs falling down and sticking or going in weird directions. They go where I tell them, where I brush them. It works really well. I think when this is dead, I might buy another one, but I think I'll buy a darker shade. I think that was light brown. So let's see, what is the next shade up? I have the Surratt website up here on my computer so that I can double check prices of things. So there are 4 shades to the brow pomade. There's clear, light brown, dark brown, and black. I might try the deep brown one next, just because I think it'll match the hair on top of my head better, although my eyebrows are naturally lighter than that. But I really like it, and if you are someone that wants the clear version, I do really like that they have a clear one. I think it's a really nice formula, and I will probably be repurchasing when this one dies. So $35 does feel like a lot, but it's been lasting me for a while, and I think it just works really well. So let's move on to the makeup. There is a truck outside that keeps beeping, so I apologize if there's like that backing up noise periodically. Don't know what's going on. But the next product is the primer. So this is the Perfectionist Primer. You get 1 ounce or 30 milliliters. You do get a decent amount of product. This one is made in the US. Most of their products, everything else is made in Japan. So it's like designed in New York, made in Japan is like their whole thing. This says made in the US. This is $95. So I know Tom, Hope Miss Tom, really liked this, but not as much as the one from Victoria Beckham, which is about the same price. I can't try the Victoria Beckham because I'm allergic to avocado oil, and it has avocado oil in it. Well, I'm allergic to avocado. But this is great. I've been using this a lot. I like the Milk Hydro Grip. I like the Milk Matte Primer if you need oil control. I've tried the Hourglass Primer a few times because I've gotten like small versions of it. The Veil Primer or whatever, really like that. But I think I've tried Urban Decay's primers, and I've tried some of the ones like the Poreless Putty. I hate those. This is $95, but I think it's my favorite primer I've ever used. It makes every foundation I've used it with look great. My skin looks great even without, like I could just wear it by itself. It's so nice. I hate that it's $95, but I only use this, once or twice. I only need to buy this like once or twice a year. They do say it's a 6-month shelf life, although I think it'll last me longer than that. And so as long as it doesn't go bad, I will keep using it. So if I'm only buying these like once a year, I will pay that. I mean, ideally they would send me another one, which would be great, but I'm not gonna count on getting refills and PR, but I love this. So this is the component. It's got the same kind of coloring as everything else. And then it has a pump. The component and the packaging reminds me of the Urban Decay primer that I've used. So this is supposed to blur your skin, make your skin just look better. Let me look at the exact claims that it has. So this says create Create the perfect canvas for flawless foundation. Pump our soothing water-based emulsion onto your fingertips and rub onto your skin. Formulated with a blend of oil-absorbing powders, our primer eliminates shine and dullness and creates a pore blurring, skin smoothing effect. Then follow with your formulation of choice. Lightweight, silky finish, all of that. They say a pearl-sized amount is all you need, and I agree. And it really is. It has really good oil-absorbing properties without being too dry. Like I've used some that make your skin feel dry and gross. Does not do that, and it just gives like the perfect smooth base for anything. Like I know the Lisa Eldridge foundation is one of my favorites, but I do need a really hydrated base. I don't have to worry about making sure I'm hydrated enough if I use my skincare and this. Like, it just goes on smooth. It makes everything look good. I was wearing this under my House Labs foundation in a recent video, and like, it's just so good. It just makes my skin look so perfect. So this is the primer. It is kind of a watery, I'll just pump it in the middle of my hand, watery, wet, white looking product. I use about a pump. And then you can see it is very liquidy, but it just blends in really nicely. Of course, I'm rubbing on my face, so now my face is gonna be all red, but that'll fade. And then it immediately, like it already feels dry, but not like dry. Like it just feels like it's already kind of soaking into my skin. And at least in person, I feel like I already have a bit of a soft focus effect going, which I really appreciate. It is what I look for in my makeup. So really, really love this. Again, I hate that it's $95, but I love it so much. And if it's in your budget, I think it's worth trying. If you like those kind of claims and the ingredients and like the effect sound good to you and you can afford it, I think it's worth trying. If you normally buy drugstore makeup and you can't afford a $100 primer, I don't want to I'm never here to pressure you to buy anything. I'll just say that again. Okay. Next, I've got the Dewdrop Concealer and the Dewdrop Foundation. I can talk. So, this is the Dewdrop Concealer, and this is the foundation. So I have shade 9 in the foundation. I also have shade 8, which works, but is a little more just yellow. And then shade 5 in the concealer. So really nice under eye concealer for me. These are expensive. Again, I like everything kind of looks the same. Like everything just has the same design language, which I really appreciate. And that is something that some people don't like about Surratt is the design of the components. And I do think some of them are a little weird. So let's do the foundation first. So this is the Dewdrop Foundation. You get 0.64 ounces. You don't get a full fluid ounce, and it retails for $75, but I think it's my favorite. So the House Labs has been historically my favorite foundation, and I think the Lisa Eldridge was up there as well. Now it's kind of like the three of them fighting for first place, but they're all kind of tied for different reasons. Like the Lisa Eldridge has more coverage than this and self-sets, and it was a little more matte. So like if that's what I want, I reach for that. The House Labs also has more coverage and has that like skin-like to maybe little dewy finish. So if I want that, it's great. If I want a low to medium coverage, skin-like, slightly healthy glow finish, this is my favorite. The component is weird, and it did take me a little bit to get used to. So you've got this little clicker thing here. I know Tom has broken one before. Screw off the top. And then this is it. I will put it on the back of my hand. So the idea is that you hold it upside down and then push this thing right here and it drops. And I don't have a hard time with this. I think it comes out pretty easily. But I know Tom hates it, even though it's their favorite foundation. And I don't think it's the most friendly if you have like hand dexterity issues, I think it might be a little hard for that. Like, but I think overall, like if you don't mind the packaging, the formula is really, really beautiful. I'm gonna use my Lisa Eldridge foundation brush. Been using this a lot lately, really love it. And I'm just gonna pick up some of this and start placing it on. So it's a really nice formula, and it just kind of melts into the skin. Like a lot of things, it looks like you have a lot of coverage and then it just kind of disappears in. And since I have so many lines on my forehead, I don't always like to put a lot of product there. So if I can get things that kind of match the perimeter of my face, all the better. I'm just gonna put a little bit more. This was like a few drops worth, and I used about half of what I pumped out. Looks like really healthy skin. So I've worn this to work a lot. And one of the first times that I wore it to work, my boss, I walked in and I also had like eyeshadow on and stuff, so she knew for sure I was wearing makeup. And she just said, like, what is on your face? Your skin looks perfect. Like your complexion is perfect. And it was this. I think it was this, and then the House Labs concealer was what I was wearing that day. But I really love this. Maybe I should have used the Sonia G brush. I mean, this works well with this formula. The Sonia G brush is just a little faster. It just melts in. It looks like skin. I still have more on the back of my hand. My one complaint, like the packaging isn't my absolute favorite. I like that it's small and compact, but you know, the like squeezing it out droplet thing, I think is a polarizing thing. I don't mind it, but I don't love it either. I'm not like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. I do think it's interesting that Surratt tries lots of packaging things. They don't just do the same thing over and over again. So I like that they're trying to innovate there and find new ways to do things. So like, I appreciate that, but also it could be a little bit, you know, it could be a little more like universally easy to use. They also have the Surreal Skin Foundation and the Surreal Skin Concealer. I do not have those. I've not tried those, but Hope Miss Tom has tried them and did talk about them in their video. And then they don't have the biggest shade range for this. There are 18 shades, I think, yeah. So there's shades, oh, there's more than that because there's like 1.5, 2, 3, 4, 6.5, 7. So there's some half shades. So there's around 20 shades of this foundation, which isn't, yeah, 20 shades. They say it's natural, seamless, lightweight, and it is fairly low coverage, so you can, you know, use different things, or like you can get away with a few different shades like I can. And the shade range, I think, it's small, but it does go from pretty light to pretty dark. Like shade 1 looks really light, and shade 18, which is the darkest, looks really dark. Like, I think the jump from shade 17 to 18 is kind of, I wish there was one more in the middle there. Like, I feel like there could be some gaps filled, but I feel like you have some good light shades, you have some good medium, you have some good tan, and then you have some like dark and the one really very dark shade. So do I think the foundation, like the shade range could be better? Yeah, I think most brands could have a better shade range, but I don't think it's bad. And I think, yeah, I don't think it's bad. I think it's not the best, but it's not like one where I'm actively complaining that it's a really terrible shade range. I don't know if everyone would be able to find their perfect shade, but I think a lot of people would. So you can see the foundation's a little lighter than my forehead, but that's fine. I just want to cover that zit. And you can see I built it up around that zit, and it did help cover it pretty well. And then now you can see my skin just looks better. It just looks like my skin, but better. It's uniform, it's covered the redness around the middle of my face. It's got a little bit of a blur to it. I don't think it's emphasizing texture, I think it's blurring. My nose looks blurred, like it's covered and blurred all of the little dark spots I have on my nose. The like blackhead things, they're not technically blackheads, but you know, like all of that has been minimized and blurred, so my skin just looks better. And that's exactly what I want in a foundation, is lightweight, my skin, but better. So yes, it's $75, but I really love it. And I think for like, this is one of those formulas I need to give, they sent me a few shades and some of them are too light. I need to give one of the lighter ones to my best friend because she is lighter than me, but she hates foundation. She's never really found a foundation she likes. She's a tinted moisturizer person through and through. And I think she might like this. I really need to give her one to try because I think she's really gonna like this. So if you're someone who doesn't traditionally like foundation, it's a really nice formula that you might end up liking a lot. Okay, this is gonna be a very long video, by the way. I probably should have said that at the beginning, but whatever. You'll see the times, you'll see the length before you click on it. And then this is the Dewdrop Concealer. I know some of their concealers are refillable. I don't remember if this one is or not. This one you get 4 milliliters or 0.13 ounces. This is the shade 5. There's not a ton of shades here either, but not, I feel like, yeah, there's not a ton of shades. Let me look at how many there are. It's one of those things that I just can't remember off the top of my head. There's 9 shades. So this is a new launch. They launched this year, so I'm hoping they will expand it. I'm shade 5, so I'm like right in the middle, and it's a little brightening on me. I probably could get away with 6 in the summer, like as a spot thing. But I'm specifically like, this is an under eye concealer. And then shade 9 is really dark, or shade 10 is pretty dark. So there's some big jumps. So it's like a few really pale shades, 5, 6, 7, those are in that medium to tan range. And then like, there's a handful of deep shades and then like the one really dark shade. So I really hope that they expand because it's a really nice formula. So this is $45, I believe. Let me look again. Yes, $48. So this retails for $48. It is a very expensive concealer, but it does have a lot of skincare in it. So this has retinol in it. So if you are someone who's sensitive to retinol, something to watch out for, but it has retinol, which is supposed to help soften your fine lines around your eyes, hyaluronic acid for moisture, vitamin C to improve skin texture and brighten, green tea extract and caffeine to reduce puffiness, and niacinamide for discoloration as well. So which niacinamide does more than that too, but it's got a lot of skincare. Like those are big skincare ingredients. And they're pretty high up in the ingredients. So it's like water, talc, which I know some people don't like, some silicones. So there's a trimethicone, trimethicone is what's in the House Labs concealer as well. And then you start getting those skincare ingredients around the midpoint. And then there's like the castor oil and like some citric acid and those preservatives near the end. So it's got a lot of silicones, it's got dimethicone, it's really nice. The packaging though is not my favorite because I don't really like things that come with a sponge tip. I know a lot of brands do it. Charlotte Tilbury does it for her blushes and bronzers and stuff. It's a common thing, but it's not my favorite thing. I would prefer just a doe foot. I would prefer just like a 2-minute doe foot, but this does make it on the go friendly because you can just tap it out and kind of tap with your fingers. So this is shade 5. I'm gonna try and scoot up just enough. And then I'm gonna put it here and here. So you can see it's bright. Like I said, I could try another shade, but when I asked, this is one of the, so they sent me most of this without me asking. They just said, hey, can we send you some product? The concealer is one of the products that I specifically reached out and said, hey, can I try that? I really like the foundation. Can I try the concealer? I'm just gonna use the same brush and pat it out. See, it blends in really nicely though. You get decent coverage, but it's also really thin and lightweight, and you don't need a lot of it. I really like it. I don't think it's my favorite. I think I prefer the House Labs concealer as my everyday concealer, but I do really like this. And I have zero complaints. I might repurchase. And I might actually, this seems like one that my husband would like. He does wear concealer when he feels like he needs it. And this is one that I might get for him at some point. And my best friend, I want her to try it. My under eyes just look better now. Like, it's got enough coverage that it's covered my dark circles pretty well. It's smoothed out my eyes. It blends in with the foundation perfectly. Like, I have zero complaints about this concealer. It doesn't crease on me or do anything like that. I don't really have that as an issue though. So, I have pretty normal skin, oily around my nose. It just looks nice. I forgot to grab a setting powder, so I'm gonna go grab one real quick, but I really like it. Okay, so I do believe they have a powder, but I did not get sent one. So I'm gonna use my House Labs powder and just set my under eyes real quick. Really like how my complexion looks so far. Just, these complexion products are just really good. I wish I didn't love them as much as I did because they're so expensive, but you know, you can't help what you enjoy. Okay, so the next product is the bronzer. So this is the Artistique bronzer. I have the shade Soleil Clair, which is the warm tone one. There is also a neutral, but from looking at everything online, the warm tone is darker, but looks more neutral, and then the neutral one looks kind of yellow, which is actually my preferred color for bronzer, so I don't really understand. There are only the two shades. So this is the compact, really beautiful, says on the back, and it does come with their little sleeve. So it's got this little felt sleeve to keep everything clean and looking nice. Opens it up. It's got a really nice mirror. And then here is the bronzer. So this is Soleil Clair. This is supposed to be the warm tone one, although it looks more neutral to me. I don't know. I think they also launched this year. This retails for $68. It's a very expensive bronzer. And then the refills, so this is refillable, so you can pop out the pan, are $48. So you're paying $20 for the case, which is actually, I think, just the cost of this size case. Like, my blushes are in the same one and it was $20. So you're not getting a discount for buying them together, but they just come with a sticker that way. And I really love this. So this is made in Japan. You do get 8.5 grams of product, so it's a lot of product. And I really like it. So it's their Japanese slurry formula that they have for their eyeshadows and blushes and stuff as well. Everything's a little different, like the formula is different per product, but they're all that like slurry formula that they have. You can see I've used this a lot. It's really, really soft and silky. So it does look pretty warm there. It is just a really nice, silky, creamy formula. My other favorite bronzer is the House Labs bronzer, and theirs is like a more cream to powder. It's kind of a little more dense, but they're both really beautiful. And ever since I got this, I just keep grabbing it. It's just so pretty on the skin. It's so beautiful. I really, really love it. Despite the fact that it's a almost $70 bronzer, I really, really love it. My only complaint is the shade range. I think there needs to be more. I think they need one more light one, like a pale neutral tone for fair skinned people, you know. And then like, you know, you think like my husband, he's a redhead. I mean, he never uses bronzer anyway, but like something, you know, for fairer skin, fairer, cooler skin, a neutral bronzer looks more natural on them. And then I think at least one, if not two darker shades, they need to expand both ways. But I would say most light medium to medium dark are gonna be fine with these, maybe even darker. I just haven't seen, you know, I don't know, I don't have darker skin. But the formula is so nice. So I'm gonna use my Jumbo Bronzer from Sonia G. And I'm just gonna pick up, tapped in twice, picks up nicely. And then I'm just going to dust it on the skin. It's just it's a really nice formula, but it's also a really natural formula. So I think that's a benefit of the slurry technology that they use, is that the products just kind of effortlessly blend into the skin and look really natural. I've been able to get away with using like concealer and like a little bit of this, and Sirens. I'm gonna stop for a minute. Sirens have passed. It just melts into the skin. And there's been days where I wore just this concealer or the House Labs concealer, like under my eyes and like maybe a little bit around my nose, and then a little bit of this, and went to work. And when I said something about my makeup that day, people are like, wait, you're wearing makeup? Like, it just looks really natural, or you can get it looking really natural if you want. But it does build, so you can build it up and have it look a little more sculpted and a little more like bronzy. I really want to try the other color. I like this one enough that I'm not willing to spend the money on the other shade. But it's just a really, pinching the Jumbo Bronzer and just kind of putting a little on my nose to warm up. It's just a really nice formula. So, I mean, this brush is also really nice and blends things into the skin nicely. But it just looks really nice. And I think the slurry technology, one, it blends into the skin nicely, but it also helps with that like soft focus blur effect that everything else is kind of going for. It's just a really, really nice formula. I have the Melt bronzer. I have a handful of bronzers. I have the one from Patrick Ta, I have the Melt one, I have the Trixie one, and then I have House Labs and this. And I almost have been exclusively using either this or the House Labs. Like, I like the other ones, but I just can't, if I'm like thinking I want to grab, oh, I need to do my makeup, what am I gonna grab? I need bronzer. I just instinctively just keep grabbing for this. It's really lovely. I do think, like I said, I do think that the shade range needs to be expanded before I can like give it my full, it's amazing recommendation. But if you are in those, I think the shade range, you know, for what you get, I think a decent number of people fit in that, but it could be better, needs to be better. But the formula is just really beautiful. So if you're in that market and in that price range and you think one of the shades would work for you, I don't think you'd be upset using it. So that is the bronzer. Love it. Can't put it down. Okay, so next is blush. So they have two blush formulas. There is the Artistique liquid blush and the Artistique powder blushes. I have both here. I don't think I'm gonna use the liquid blush today. I just don't feel like wearing pink blush. And the shade I have is pink. I have the shade Barba Papa, which I can't say or see without thinking of Hope Mess Tom now and hearing Hope Mess Tom's voice saying Barba Papa. But I do really like this formula. They do sell the shade, I think, Cantaloupe, which is one of the more orangey tone shades in this formula, and I do want it. It's another one of those sponge tip things. You get the, let's see, you get 8.1 grams of product, a lot of product in this. This is $45, and it's a really beautiful formula. I'll twist a little up and put some on my hands so you can kind of see. It's one of those formulas you can see it's a very baby pink formula. So the color, I should say. So it's a color I don't wear very often, but if you like a pink blush or you want the orange one, I don't think you can go wrong with it. So it's pretty liquidy. You can blend it out with a brush, or I'm just gonna use this. It's one of those blushes I don't think you can go wrong in. You can see it blends out pretty sheer. It's got a nice glow to it without being shiny or glittery. It's just got like a healthy glow. And it's one of those, I just don't think you can mess up what you're doing. Like you can just keep adding more and blending and you're not gonna get too much. It's not like the Rare Beauty where you have to be very careful about how much you're using because it's so pigmented. There's pigment there and it does show up on the skin and look really pretty, but it's not bam pigment. It just melts into the skin. And so I think these melt into the skin really nicely too, but if you want something that looks really effortless and natural, the liquid blush is what I would recommend. It's really beautiful. I really want the orange one in it. But you can see on the back of my hand, I'm just not a big fan of pink blush. I do like it sometimes, but it's really pretty. So they also have like a bundled set where it's like $60 where you get a powder blush and a liquid blush, which is nice, but there are only 4 shades. So there's Barba Papa, then there's Parfait, which is a pinky coral, which I want. It is beautiful looking. There's Classique, which is a magenta, which would look great on a lot of skin tones. And then there's Cantaloupe, which is a golden melon. I really want Cantaloupe and Parfait. If Surratt ever sends them to me, I will show you, or if I buy them eventually. I really like them. I have Cantaloupe in the powder and I really love it. And I want Cantaloupe and Parfait in the liquid. I think I would use those constantly if I had them. They're really pretty. And $45 is a lot for a liquid blush. It's gonna last you a decent amount of time. Not like the Rare Beauty where it's so pigmented that you need a tiny bit, so it's gonna last you forever because you're just using so little. I think it's gonna last you a decent amount of time for what you get. I think it's just easier to use and just looks more natural on the skin than the Rare Beauty blushes, which are my other favorite liquid blush. But it's just pretty. So not my like top choice of products, but for the right person, if you want that effortless, really natural looking blush, I think it's a really nice formula. And then I have 4 of the powdered blushes. So they first sent me the pink ones to go with that. They sent me Barba Papa and Guimauve, I think is the other one. And these are them. So Barba Papa is the top one here, and it is really beautiful. It's got a kind of a blue sheen through it. It's not sparkly, like I don't see glitter on my face when I use it, but it does have that blue sheen. So it's a really special blush. And then this is just a pink blush, really pretty. I think a lot of people would really like these. So these individual blushes are $32 each pan. So $60 for one of those and one of these is actually a really good deal. And they do come in a case that you can keep them in where like the front slides off and you could use it and put the back on, or you peel the sticker off the back and you stick it in one of these. This component is $20, and then the one I've been using as my mirror, the bigger one, is $25. So this fits 2 blushes or 4 eyeshadows, and this fits 3 blushes or 6 eyeshadows, depending. I'll show you how mine is configured in a little bit. Really like this formula. These look really beautiful. My best friends borrowed these. They looked really nice on her. They look nice on me. I don't wear pink blush a lot, but in that first impression video, I did wear these because it was what I had, and I did get a lot of compliments saying that pink blush looked really nice on me. So I will swatch these just so you can see. They're again that slurry formula. They're really silky. I'll put here and here. So you can see it's like a pale pink, really pale. And then this kind of pale pink, but with that like baby blue sheen that just gives it kind of a glow, but like a special glow, not just a pink glow, but it's like, it's special and unique. Really love that. Then I have the shades Cantaloupe and Flame. in the orange blushes. So this is the other product I asked for. So they sent me the first batch of stuff, and then I said, hey, really like the foundation, can I try the concealer? Also really like the blushes, but can I try the orange ones? And they sent me both of these, and I love these. So I will use these today. Okay. I'm gonna use my new Rephr brush. So this is the special edition Rephr brush. Might be sold out by the time this video is going live, but I did buy this. $88, really, probably the softest brush I own now. It is soft. I understand why it's so expensive. Really beautiful. So I'm gonna use this just because, why not? So I'm gonna go in with both, I think, but we'll start with, this is Cantaloupe, I believe, this upper one. So you can see, picks up nicely. And then, again, it's that slurry formula, and it just blends into the skin really nicely. Like, yeah, I'm buffing around, but I don't even really need to. It's just kind of effortlessly blending into the skin. Like, as I put it down, it just blends in. You don't really need to actually spend the time to blend it. There's a decent amount of pigment, and it builds up really nicely. And they have darker and lighter shades and all of that. They have some contour shades in the same formula. And you can see it does build up. It's just really beautiful. This is maybe, I really love the Haus Labs blushes, but I think this is my favorite blush formula now. And then I'll go in with the other one, which is more of a shiny one, kind of like how Barba Papa was. And I'll put a little bit there as well. It's just a really, really lovely formula. I got more on this side than I meant, but you can see it does build up nicely. So I'm just gonna buff that out a little bit. Really, really love that. It looks natural. I mean, it's orange, so it might not look natural on your skin tone depending on the color, but the formula just looks natural. It blends itself. It builds, which is nice. I appreciate a buildable formula. I don't want to build it too much. Like, I don't want to have to like dip in and go back in 12 times, but a couple times is fine. You know, it's not a lack of pigment, it's pigment that builds. But really, really like that. Okay, and then they sent me 2 of their highlighter sticks. So they have 3 of these. These are their Torche Lumiere. They sent me the pink one and the gold one, and then there's a neutral one. So this is the pink one, the rose shade. I'll swatch that on my hand as well. And it's really pretty. These are really nice. They are a little sparkly. They're more sparkly than I expected. Everything else, even like the shiny blush, it looks like glow, not sparkle. Like, it looks like a glow from within. I don't see any specks on my face at all. These are a little glittery, which is not what I expected, but I do really like them. And then this is the shade Door, which is the gold one. I'll put that right here. And you can see they're very bright. They're really beautiful. You do get, these are 11.5 grams. Again, you know, designed in New York, made in Japan. These retail for $54. And I really like them. I think this is one of those things where if it's worth it, really depends on you, your makeup style, what you want. I wouldn't recommend this product to everyone, because if you want to glow from within, it's a little bit more than that, but it's also not like super blinding, like shifty indie highlight. It's kind of in the middle, but it is really pretty. I really like this. I'm gonna pick up a little bit with my finger and then tap it in versus drawing on my face. I don't find that it like picks up product or anything to swipe on. I just don't want to get too much. And you can see it definitely adds a bit of a wet effect. It is shiny, and it's not like glittery. Like, I'm not seeing, like, I have highlights that are glittery and I see, you know, specks of glitter in, but it does have a little bit more, you know, like on my brow bone, I see the little specks of glitter. Like, well, shine, whatever, mica, pearl, whatever is in it. Pearl, you know, mica is just, you know, the shine in most things. Pearl means that it's actually rounded and a little more expensive. But like whatever the pearl or mica or whatever it is, I see a little bit on my brow bone, but not on my cheek. And it just, see, it is brighter. It is a highlight. It's not the most, I mean, you can build it up for sure, but it's really pretty. I don't have anything I can compare it to. Yeah, I just don't have a formula I can compare it to. The only other like stick highlighter like this that I've used is the one from Isamaya, and that's more gel, like liquidy. And this is not a liquid highlighter. It feels like it's very creamy, like it's very emollient. It feels like it almost melts when you touch it. It's very emollient. And you can see them both in the back of my hand. They're both really pretty. I'll maybe put a little bit of the pink one on too. They're just, it's not my go-to product from Surratt. It's one of those, it's nice, I'm glad I have them, I will use them, but I'm not like actively like, ooh, I wanna use that today. Like I am with the bronzer or the blush or the foundation or like some of the other products, you know? So it's nice, but not my, like, oh my God, I really recommend this, but it is really nice, and it's not, and it's different from, I think it's a little bit different from some of the other stuff. I think it's a little more fun, it's a little more bright. I like it. I think it looks nice on the skin, but it's not my first choice if you were gonna buy something from Surratt. Okay, so now we have eyeshadow and lips and mascara. I'm actually gonna put lips on now. So I have 2 lips from Surratt. Where are they? I have one little thing in front of me and I somehow can't find things. Okay, so this is the Lipslique. I often do lips at the end, but I just want to put it on now. So I have 2 shades, New de Soleil and Heaven. These retail for $35. They're a really lovely formula. This New de Soleil is a little pale for me. Like you can see, it's very pale. It's one of their palest shades. So if you are very fair skin, I would recommend checking that one out. Heaven is a little more something that I'm gonna wear. It's kind of like just my lips, but better shade. I want to try, they have some other shades and some darker shades, and I do want to try those and see if I like them more. The reason I don't grab these that often is the shade. So these are really creamy. They're one of those things where you can't twist it back down. You have to twist it up and just get the amount you want. It's like a soft melt instantly. I mean, they call it Lipslique. This is the shade Heaven, so you can see it's like a shiny version of my lips. It's a very hydrating, very nice formula. It's thick, but not too thick. Like, it's thick where it's gonna last a little while, but not thick as in like goopy or anything. Like, I don't feel it. But if I do this, I can feel those like silicones rubbing against each other or whatever's in it. So you can see it's really pretty. This is just kind of a soft, cool pink. I like this color, and for a no makeup day, it's a nice lip, kind of rosy in person. But it's just not, these aren't my favorite colors or colors that I want to grab very often, which is why I don't use these as often as I should. Let me take a little bit of the other one and put it like in the middle. This is a little lighter. They're really nice, they're hydrating, and they're not like as thick and melty as like, let's say the About Face ones, which are, you know, $18 or something. Like those are significantly cheaper, they're like half the cost. But those are like almost a liquid in stick form and they melt immediately. This has more body to it. So I don't really have a direct comparison to it right now. Yeah, it just feels like kind of a lip balm almost, and it feels like a lip balm and a cream, like a satin lipstick combined. So I really like it. It's not my absolute favorite lip formula though. So like $34 is a bit steep for me. Like that's a Lisa Eldridge lipstick. I would rather buy a Lisa Eldridge lipstick personally, but I do really like these. I just think if I had a different color, if I had a darker color that I wanted to wear more, I might be more hyped about it and be like, ooh, yeah, I really like this. Oh yeah. But since it's a pale color that just kind of matches my lips, I just don't think about it as much. I think that's it. I think it's more the color than the formula. So it's a nice formula. If you like this kind of lip, might be worth checking out, especially I've seen some on sale sometimes, or like they were just, there was a while back, they had a good sale on a couple of these shades, and Black Friday is coming up. So it might be worth looking at if that's the kind of formula you like, where it's like a nourishing, it's like a satin lipstick, like a cream lipstick, but like more lip balmy, more skincare-y. I don't know. It's like that weird mix. I need to compare it to the YSL lipstick, the Candy Glaze, but I don't have that yet. I ordered it during the Sephora sale and it's just not here yet. So if I think that they're similar, maybe I'll like put it here on the screen, or I'll put it in the description box, but that's also like a $40 lip product. So like, what's expensive and what's worth it is, again, highly subjective. Okay, so eyeshadow. I'm gonna put some eye primer down. I always use eye primer, but I have a bunch of eye products from them. So the first is I have the Beyond Beige Quad. This retails for $98. It's the same size, same packaging as the blush component that I have and the bronzer. This one is not, like you can buy these and just buy shadows and put them in there. This is a pre-made palette and it's a boring, basic quad, but I adore it. I really love it. So you've got two mattes, and they're again that slurry formula, so they're not like a dry matte, they're like a creamy, soft slurry. I don't know how else to describe it. I think they're like a liquid that's poured and dried kind of thing. And then you've got two satin shades. This is a nice satin highlight. I could even use this like on my face to add a little bit more. So you can see there is some brightness there. It's not like fully satin, but like it's not super bright either. Really like it as a highlighter actually. So this is a good travel thing. And then this one is just like a soft satin brown. Really like this for every day. I am gonna use these mattes. And then I have this. This is the original thing they sent me. I asked for this. This is 4 of their special shades. So their individual eyeshadows are like this. You can keep them in their container or glue them in here. These retail for $22 to $30. So these are the special shades. So like this matte brown is probably a $22 shade. And these like sparkly shifty shades are gonna be $30. And then this is their eye base. So they have a beige and a black in their eye base. And I really like this. I don't wanna do a smoky eye with this today. I did use this in that first impression too. And it works really well. And I don't need an eye primer when I use this black base. So if I want, I still sometimes do use one, but I've used just this black base as the base for a look, and it lasted all day. So even with my oily eyelids, I didn't have a problem with that. And then they sent me, we have 2 of the Prismatique Eyes. So these are like a lot of brands where you have a cream shadow and then like a topper. That's their version of this. These retail for $58. I really want the green one. So they sent me Style Eyes. So I actually really enjoy the weird packaging for this one. So it's a square instead of a circle like most. And then you still unscrew. You've got the gel the cream eyeshadow here. So this one's like a soft mauve, a cool tone, almost gray shade. And then the shimmer part slides out, and it's the same size as one of these. And it's a really beautiful shimmer, sparkly topper shade. I also have Neutral Eyes, which is a brown, and you can see I've used this one twice, and I've used this one a bunch. Really like these. This makes a really nice eye base. I don't have a problem with it fading or creasing on me. I think Tom might have said that they did. I don't remember, but I didn't have an issue. I can also use an eye base with it. I've used this one a lot for work looks. And then this is the topper for it, which is just really pretty. I've used these in a video at some point. There's the topper swatched out. Really love those. I want the green one. I think there's also a blue one. I want the other ones. I really like them. And then I also have some of their eyeshadow sticks. So these are like an eyeliner eyeshadow stick. These are their Smokey Eye Batons. So these retail for $35 a piece, and you have 2 products in them. About Face just launched their own version of this, and I'm tempted to try it, but I haven't had luck with any of my About Face products really. So probably a waste of time and money. But this is the Smokey Eye Baton. I asked to try this as well. Forgetting the second order had the quad in these. I just asked for one, but they sent me 3. So I've got the Bruin shade, which is brown, Noir, which is black, and then the Canon de Beauté is burgundy shade. So I really like these, but I don't think everyone will. So these are really great for a quick one and done-ish, 2 and done smoky eye. Easy to use, look really cool if you want the lived-in look. So if you want that like 90s kind of creasy lived-in look, I have a video, I think here, of using them that I'll put up. I really like them, and I think within an hour they creased. So let me grab the brown one, just because I have. So on one side, you have like a thick eyeliner kind of thing. I wouldn't really try to use this as like for a precise eyeline, but you can smudge it all over your eye, blend it out, that kind of an eyeliner formula. And then the other side twists, and you've got a shimmer shadow. So I'll swatch this one. I'll do it right here. So you can see you've got, that's the brown, the black is much darker and black, and then I have the burgundy shade. Then you unscrew and you've got the shimmer. So the shimmer is a little lighter and like a satin shimmer. So you can see it's not super shiny, but it's an eyeshadow. Like there's eyeshadow in here that this little sponge tip dips into. So the purpose of these, draw on your eye, blend it out with your finger or a brush, and then put the shadow on top. And I really like the way it looks, but I would say within an hour, even with eye primer, and I did try them with eye primer, it creased. I would say within an hour I had some like creases and it looked a little greasy, but it looked cool, and I thought it would do that based on other reviews. So I was expecting it. And it gave me that smudgy 90s smoky eye, and it looked really nice. Sorry, I have the hiccups suddenly. It looked really nice. And once it got to that point, it stayed there. Like it didn't continue melting off. Like I've used eye products that like within 3 hours, they're just melted away and you can't even tell I did anything. This is not like that. It got to that like grungy 90s lived in greasy look, and then it just stayed there the rest of the day. It lasted all day. So for days that I want that look, it's really nice. But I'll swatch the more cranberry shade so you can kind of see that too. Or burgundy shade, I should say. But, so there's the burgundy. But if you're someone, if you went into it expecting like I'd smudge it and it would be perfect and crisp and then it would just look like that all day, you're gonna be disappointed. It's not that, but it's really beautiful for what it is. So this is one of those, it's not a bad product. Or necessarily good. Whether it's a good or a bad product is really dependent on you and what you are in the market for and what you're in the mood for. So if you like that kind of look, I think they're great, and I've seen them on sale for a good price. I would go ahead and try it. If you want it to be crisp, clean, like non-creasy, you know, if it looking creasy and oily and like lived in is gonna bother you, do not buy them. You are gonna hate it. But if you like that look, it's really nice for that look. So now that I've done a little rundown of all the eye things, let's actually try some of the eyeshadows in my eyes. So I'm gonna put my NARS eyeshadow base down. I use primer for every eye look I do. Okay, so I'm gonna go into the Beyond Beige Quad. I'm just grabbing my brushes. Now I'm gonna use a fluffy brush to start off. So this is the Rougher 27. Really like this. It's fluffy, but it's still got a bit of a taper, and it's not like flimsy. And I'm gonna go into the beige shade. I just went swirl, swirl, picked up a decent amount, and I'm just gonna put that right here. I've used these on camera before, and I just really love them. I think Tom said that they're not the longest lasting on them. I think that they last fine. I've worn them all day for 12 hours or something and had no issues. They didn't fade or disappear on me, but I do use I think they always use an eye primer as well, but I just think they're one of the best, most refined eyeshadow formulas I've ever used. You can just see it effortlessly blended in, and it just kind of blends itself. And especially if you're looking for something natural, really beautiful. They have other mattes. They have a whole bunch of shades that you can pick from and build your own palette in like this size or this size. They're really, or just buy an individual shade. I just think it's so pretty. It's like, and you can see it builds up. So similar to like a Viseart or something, it does build up, but it is the same slurry-ish technology, not formula. It's not the exact same formula as the bronzer, but it's the same technology. No. So it's not the same formula as the bronzer or the blush, but it's the same slurry technology that they use in their other stuff, and it just makes it a really effortless, really beautiful eyeshadow formula. It's really refined. It feels like a luxury formula. I feel like I've used other expensive formulas and they just don't feel like, I feel like you're mostly just paying for the name and the packaging. This feels like you're paying for the formula. It's really, really beautiful. I'm then gonna grab a smaller brush. This is my Lisa Eldridge eyeshadow brush that I have. And I'm gonna pick up the darker shade. See, it picks up nicely. And I'm gonna put it right here. And just blend in. And you can see they just kind of instantly melt into each other. There's no streak, no patchiness. They just melt into each other. I just really cannot, like anytime lately that I'm doing a quick neutral look or I'm doing something like neutral mattes and then like a random shimmer that I want to use, I'm using these. They're just so nice. They last all day. They're effortless to use. I really love them. Yes, this is a $100 quad, and that feels kind of insane to me. But I would personally buy more matte shadows from them. I think it is a really lovely formula. and I want more colors. So if you're a singles person, you know, matte shades tend to be the cheaper of the formulas, but I think these are just really, really nice, and I would absolutely buy more of them. And you can see they build up. You can get a decent amount of depth from just these, even without using like the black base. Just really love them. Okay, and then I'm just taking a little bit of the first shade, which is Grayish, and then there's Brune Noir. Those are the two that I've been using. And I'm just running the gray shade underneath my eye. Okay, so that is it for those mattes. Really love this, like in my top tier of matte eyeshadow formulas now. Just really love it. Okay, so I do want to use some of these. See, these are the more expensive, like shifty shades. I don't know if I'm in the mood for this blue today. It's a blue purple duochrome. It's really beautiful. I think I did use it in that other video, but I did just swatch it right here. So you can see it's got that like purple base with that blue shift. You can see the purple plum base when you do that. Really like that. But I think actually what I'm gonna do is use the more satin shade so you can kind of see that, and then put it on one of the more like sparkly toppers that are in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab a shader brush. Okay, so I'm just going ahead and picking up this shade right here. Picked it up on this, picks up really nicely. And then just brushing that all over. And I just want you to see what I mean by satin. So if you're not into a satin eyeshadow, I want you to know what these look like. So the mattes, really lovely, highly recommend. The satins, I only recommend to some people. So there it is. Neutral brown, kind of everyday smoky eye. I've worn this exact look to work a number of times. They blend into each other really nicely, but it is a satin. Like you can see there is like no metallic, no sparkle. It's just a satin. So I did want to show that from the quad just so you can kind of see what the satins look like. And then got stuff everywhere. Let's go into one of these. So this is, I don't remember the shade here, but it's like a sparkly yellow. I'll try to remember and put it on in the description box. And I'm just gonna pick that up with my finger. You can see it's shifty. There's a bit of green in there too. And I'm gonna tap that over it. I've worn this by itself, like just this shadow kind of all over for like a little bit of an everyday soft twinkle. I really like these. I think $30 is a lot for a single eyeshadow. That's more than most indie brands. So if it's worth it or not is really dependent on you and what you like. Someone might say, you know, $20 for a Cliono shadow that's shifting 4 colors is 100% worth it. And someone saying it's not because I'm never gonna wear it, and they're only gonna wear something like this. These are just really, really pretty. And you can see it does build up, so you can see those sparkles. It's just so pretty. I really like these. I definitely have worn these a lot. The black eyeshadow base here works really nicely. These are just that like soft, ethereal, wet effect, sparkly kind of shade. But you can see they are iridescent. They don't have a base, so you need them. If you put them over your lid by itself, you're only gonna really see that like shift, the sheen and the sparkle. There's not a base color. You'll see your lid underneath, like an Urban Decay, you know, Space Cowboy kind of effect. Or you can top it over, you know, these browns or mattes and just have this really nice everyday iridescent shimmer. I really love them. Now again, $30 per eyeshadow very much might not be worth it for you, but I really love them. And I think if you think that you're like, that sounds fine, that sounds reasonable, then I think you could really love these. But I'm not going into this thinking that I'm gonna get, you know, a multi-chrome or something crazy. like I said, there is the duochrome, that blue in there, and it is a really beautiful duochrome, especially, it's like a softer one. Like it's a little more sheer, as you saw in my hand. Like it's not the highest impact, but when you put it over that black base, it really is. And I think it's gorgeous, and I highly recommend it. I think it's like the shade Supernova or something like that. When you look at their shades, they're like, the ones they sent me are like the last 4. But I really like them. Depending on what kind of eyeshadow you're looking for, could be really worth it. So you've got 2 mascara products. This is the actual mascara. I have it in the shade Noir. You get 6 grams of products, again, made in Japan. Really like this. This retails for $32. And then we have the Lash Tint, which retails for $50 and is my favorite thing out of all of these. And I feel weird saying that, but that is, it's just my favorite Surratt product so far. I think the primer might be my second. No, Dewdrop Foundation is probably second, primer third. But I fucking love this. I really like the mascara, and I've been wearing it more in my recent videos. I think it looks really nice. It is a fiber mascara, so when you pull it out, you've got this really interesting spiral wand. Hopefully that is focusing, yeah. Really interesting spiral wand, and you can see some of those fibers on there. If you like a fiber mascara, I think you'll like this. It does add lift, volume, separation, all of that. I think it is a really beautiful mascara, and it is a little more bold than this. But this is what I find truly special and truly unique. I know Tom, Hope Mess Tom, loves this mascara and hasn't tried this, but really loves this. And especially for $30, that's like on par with other high-end mascaras I find. I think it's worth it. I really like the mascara. I might repurchase that, but I will 100% buy this. This is currently out of stock as of filming, but you know, who knows when this video goes live, and if this video I'm pre-filming by at least 2 weeks. So this might be in stock at that point, but I love this. So this is $50. It's weird. You unscrew, you do get, how much product do you get? 2.2 grams. So you get less product. Yeah, this is 6 grams. But I think it'll last a long time because you don't need very much. And then you unscrew it, and it's this little metal wand with basically a screw end here. But it's so great. So you can wear this. I'm gonna curl my lashes and put it on. You can wear it really subtly. Like I can barely put it on, and it just looks like a lash tint. Like my lashes look darker and they're separated and thicker, but they don't really look like I'm wearing mascara. Or you can like build it up a little bit and it looks like a really nice mascara. I just really, really love it. The regular mascara I think is a really great mascara. It adds a lot of length. It adds more length, and it like thickens, and it adds really nice length. But it still stays separated, which is my problem. I think I have thick, can't really see right here on camera, but I have thick eyelashes. So things that add too much bulk tend to make them clump, and it really separates. But the lash tint is it's just where my heart lies. So I'm gonna wear that again today. I have been wearing the mascara in a lot of my recent videos, so I would check that out. But I'm generally wearing one of these 2 every day. So I'm gonna curl. I use my Rephr eyelash curler, and then make sure I get some excess off, and then I'm just gonna rub it. So if I just like do that, kind of a light layer, it just like looks nice. Doesn't look like I'm wearing too much. I think this wand also kind of helps me get some of those little lashes better. I do think so. Most mascaras don't hold a curl on me. This does better than the actual mascara. I don't know what that is, and almost no mascara holds much of a curl on me. It doesn't hold it straight up like this, but it does drop a little bit. Everything does, but it still, you can still see there's a bit of a curve to my lashes versus just, the regular mascara does hold a little bit, like they're not fully straight and pointed down again, but this definitely holds better in my opinion, and it is $50. I do recognize that that is a ridiculous price to pay for a mascara product, but I love it. They really hooked me on this. I think it is my favorite Surratt product. It lasts all day. I've never had raccoon eyes. I've never had it like smudge. It lasts all day. And they just look really, like they don't smudge, flake, even if I rub my eyes. Like, they just look, it just makes my lashes look so nice. And for a day-to-day, unless I'm doing something really dramatic, so like there's been days where I wore like a really big smoky eye and I wore the Surratt mascara itself. But on a day-to-day, especially if I'm doing a look like this is plenty. I don't feel the need for falsies or super dramatic lashes, and I hate spiral lashes. So if you're someone that likes a clumpy spiral lash, this is not a product for you. But I wouldn't think that you would think it is. It's just really nice, and you can really see individual lashes, which is something that I look for. Okay, so that's everything. That is literally every product they sent me, either used or shown and talked about. So I really like these products, but let's go into the wrap up now that I've been filming for an hour and a half. So I'm gonna go through product by product, but again, I just wanna give a disclaimer that what is worth it to me might not be it for you. That's fine. Makeup is very highly subjective, and what is worth it, especially in different price points, makeup styles, makeup budgets, all of that, very different. So I'm not at all trying to pressure you into buying any of these things, just giving you an informed opinion on them now that I've had them for a while. Now, let's go category by category again, just brief summary. So brow products, you can see they haven't fallen at all. It's been an hour and a half now. They're firm, but not crunchy. I think it holds better than basically anything, without being crunchy at the same time. Really love the brow pomade. Really like the brow pencil. Again, the brow pencil has the high entry price point where you have to spend $40, but the refills are only $18, which I think is a really great price for a good brow product. So, and I think the spoolie on this feels a lot higher quality than most. Really love them. The primer. So I haven't used setting spray. I did use a little bit of setting powder. I think my skin looks really nice. I really love this primer. I think it does a good job at controlling oil. Like, my nose isn't too shiny. My face itself is not too shiny, especially for not powdering or anything. And it does give like a smooth canvas where everything, House Labs, Lisa Eldridge, Fenty, every foundation, Pat McGrath, every foundation, skin tint, everything I've tried over it looks nice and lasts all day looking really nice and just looking like healthy, soft focus skin, like that healthy skin. It's $95, so it's really expensive, but I think this is gonna last me another handful of months, and we'll see. If they send me another one, I'd be very grateful, but I might buy it myself too. I just really love it. I need my husband to try it. Okay, and then foundation and concealer. So I have the Dewdrop foundation and concealer. Really love them. Like, I think my skin just looks like my skin, but healthy. It's covered my redness. It looks good. I don't normally put stuff on my forehead, but I did put a little on my forehead because of that zit. And obviously it's a light to medium coverage, so you can kind of still see the zit there, but I don't mind having that little bit of darkness there. You can still see my freckles. So I have, you know, multiple freckles. You can still see them. You can still see my skin, but then like these that I have here is also covered. They just do a really good job at that like light medium, your skin but better soft focus effect. Like it definitely blurs the skin and looks really nice. And then if I add in powder, and I did put a little bit of the House Labs powder, which I do find blurring, but if I put like Hourglass and stuff on top too, it's even more blurred. Concealer, $40, $48. The concealer, really lovely. I think good amount of coverage, not the highest coverage. So if you want like a super full coverage concealer, you're not gonna like this, but I think for everyday, it looks like skin coverage, but better. I love it. Just like the House Labs and the Kosas, which are my other two go-tos, in the Givenchy. You know, if that tells you something, Kosas, House Labs, and Givenchy are the concealers I've liked the most. I've tried a lot of other concealers. Most I haven't really liked. Those ones I do. I just think it looks like skin. And that's what I want. I want it to cover my dark circles, make me look less tired, cover the red spots I get around my eyes, but then still look like skin. And it has a lot of skincare in it, which could be a good or a bad thing. So if you don't want retinol and vitamin C and stuff in your concealer, skip it. Maybe check out this Real Skin concealer, which I think is even higher coverage. But, you know, just avoid it. Not for you. But I think part of the reason that the price is so high is it has so many actives, and it works well. I haven't had any irritations. I've been using it and the House Labs basically back to like just one or the other for weeks, and I love it. So if you are in the market for something more affordable, like half the price, I do really recommend the House Labs concealer, but that's a different thing. Bronzer, really like the bronzer. I think it just looks natural. Like, I think my skin just looks great. Like, I really like the way my complexion looks. The bronzer, I think, needs to have more shades added. Really hope they do that, but really love the shade that I have. And I think a lot of people can use those too. Blushes, really like the blushes. I think it's up there. It's tied with the House Labs and Hourglass as my favorite blushes. I think it's kind of a mix of the Hourglass and the House Labs, if that makes sense, if you've tried them. I just really love it. They look nice. This is the blush that I keep wanting to grab. Every time I do my makeup, I just want to use this bronzer and blush. The highlight sticks, they're really nice. I did add another highlight on top. Really like them. Not my absolute favorite product, but they're really pretty, and I think they're a fun product because they're a little bit more just like natural. They're not just natural skin, they do give you more than that. And I think they're a really nice highlight formula. They're not the first thing I would recommend, but I really like them. The liquid blush also really like, said that before. Eyeshadows, adore these matte eyeshadows. No issues with them fading throughout the day or melting off. I do use an eye primer though. Really love them, and I really like these special, you know, more expensive iridescent shades and the one duochrome that I have. I just really like them. I have zero complaints about the formula. It makes, especially like the duochrome, it's like a more approachable duochrome. The eyeshadow base, there's also a beige version that you could use. Don't need a primer with it. Keeps the makeup on all day. Zero feedback, like zero critiques of that. The eyeshadow base is really nice. And I have oily eyelids, so that tells you. The Prismatique Eyes, really like these. I think the cream shadow isn't as long wearing as some that I've used, but it's not like, I've used some where they just kind of fade halfway through the day. It lasts all day. They blend easily. They're really nice. I have zero complaints. I want the green one and the blue one that they make. If that tells you anything, but I want more shades. And then the Smokey Eye Batons. Really like them for a very specific person and look. So if you're going for that grungy, lived in kind of creasy eye look that was big in the 90s, try them. They're great. But only try them if that is a look that you like and will wear enough to justify the cost. And then the mascara and the lash tint. Really, I mean, I just finished with these, but really like the mascara. One of the best mascaras I've ever used. But the lash tint, I love it. And you can see it's not the biggest. I could get more length and volume and stuff if I used the actual mascara. But for it every day, I can't beat it. I just love it. I keep coming back to it. And then the Lipslicks. I really like it. I wish I had a different shade so I would maybe reach for it more. It's comfortable, looks nice on the lips, it's hydrating, it's kind of smoothed out my lips, it's got a little bit of a sheen. I don't know if I would spend $34 on another shade myself, but I do really like it and I think it's a nice formula. It's just not like my, yay, I love it, you know. Okay, so that is everything. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the look, how you think the products looked and performed. I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback as always. And yeah, on a personal note, I'm pre-filming this a few weeks in advance. I have a lot of videos to film right now and edit and get out. I'm gonna have 2 to 3 videos every week for the month of November, and I'm gonna have, if all things go as planned, like 22 to 25 videos for December. So, got a lot of stuff coming. Remember to like and subscribe. It really does help. And I'll see, thank you. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.